Welcome to Lauro Rizzatti's podcast, Verification Perspectives. Lauro's guest today is Jean-Marie Brunet, Senior Marketing Director for Emulation Products at Mentor Graphics. Let's hear from Lauro and Jean-Marie on the state of the emulation business.
Welcome, Jean-Marie. First, congratulations on your recent launch of the Veloce Strato emulation platform. The announcement said that the Veloce Strato is the only emulation platform on the market with full scalability across both hardware and software. Could you elaborate a bit on this announcement and tell us what makes the Veloce Strato emulator so scalable?
Hi, Lauro. Thanks for the opportunity talking to you today. We're very happy with this announcement. And this is our new platform, a new emulation platform called Veloce Strato. We have reached out to the market on this announcement with a very different approach. And I'm going to explain to you what we mean by scalability here. The different approach we're taking here is really talking about a roadmap for the next 5 years. We are not talking about a roadmap for only 1 year or 2 years, and within 2 years, we will come back with another platform. No, this is really the platform that will scale all the way to a 15 billion gate situation. The hardware is fully scalable, so you basically purchase what you need in terms of capacity, and you can grow along the way with the design size and feed more board in the chassis. The chassis will remain the same throughout the 15 billion gates. We'll have some unique capability on how to connect those boxes together to make the system fully scalable to 15 billion gates. The software is also fully scalable. Everything that we had on Veloce 2 is completely reusable in terms of application. So whatever you had right now with all those Veloce apps library are completely reusable as they are from Veloce 2 to Veloce Strato. And it really scales with the size of the design. If you have a good return of the investment with the application on Veloce 2 and your design doesn't grow, then you don't need to move to the new platform. If your design grows and you want to get a little bit additional features in performance and capacity size within your own chassis, you move to the new platform and the new operating system, and all the applications are reusable as is. They're very scalable from that sense.
Quite interesting, Jean-Marie. And what about the chip powering up the emulator? Mentor conceived and patented an architecture under the name of emulator on a chip. Is there a new chip in the Strato emulator?
Absolutely. And you are correct. This is a new generation of hardware platform for us, and everything with Veloce starts with the chip. The chip is called the Crystal chip. We design our own chip. This technology here is unique to us. It is basically, think of a very large lookup table and without any impact or compromises in visibility. So it has all the advantages of an FPGA without being the problem on FPGA, which is visibility. It's not a Boolean processor, so the clocking scheme is not power hungry. The way we are architecting our clocking scheme on this lookup table is very smart from a power perspective. And this is the main reason why a fully loaded system of 2.5 billion gate is consuming a little bit less than 50 kilowatt. This is the best ratio on the market right now when you want to go up to 2.5 billion gates. So yes, everything starts with the chip. The chip is brand new, and we are very, very positive with the results of this chip. Then the board and the chassis have been redesigned as well. Our chassis are, again, going back to the scalability point, are designed in a way that they are very easily plug and play and removable. And, the support, the servicing is much better than we had with Veloce 2. And it is a really different chassis. It's a different platform per se. The footprint is the same. So customer that currently has Veloce 2 and has built an adaptation to the data center for Veloce 2 in terms of power and cooling, plug basically Veloce Strato in the same environment than where Veloce 2 was. There's no change of a data center requirement. And what is very interesting is a Veloce 2 fully loaded Maximus, which was about 1 billion gates, was consuming 50 kilowatt for the same footprint. Here we have 2.5 billion gates with 50 kilowatt again for the same footprint. So as you can see, we have put 2.5x more capacity for the same footprint and about the same power. And I think nobody else out there can do that. So yes, indeed, it's a new chip.
Very impressive. You also mentioned a new Veloce Strato operating system. Tell us about this operating system and what are the attributes that make it so unique?
So this is a good question because a lot of customers and members of the press are asking us really what is this operating system? It's really the centerpiece of the overall architecture. The centerpiece of the technology from a capacity perspective and platform perspective is the chip, and the centerpiece of the architecture to enable use models and so on is the operating system. So the new operating system is called Veloce Strato OS, and it does basically three things. It's the basic core compiler flow. As soon as you have an emulator, you need to compile, you synthesize, you partition, and you move from a netlist to something that is mapped to your hardware, as you know very well, Lauro. So this is the compiler. Then where we are unique is for the compiler, we have improved the compiler flow, and throughout the rollout of Strato, we'll get more data from customer on that, but it's about 3x faster over time and with 100% success rate. So as you know very well, when you are using an FPGA type of emulator, you cannot guarantee 100% success rate. You don't know if it's going to compile. It might take forever. With us, we guarantee 100% success rate. The operating system is also enabling all the use models. So traditional ICE is more physical, and all the others use models that we support that are more virtual or test bench acceleration. TBX is a technology we invented many years ago, and we are the leader really in test bench acceleration, is enabled by Strato OS. And the third one is debug. All the waveform dump out, all the replay technology that we have that's very unique, save and restore, that makes the environment really reusable and very productive, is under the debug category. So those three categories are completely handled by the operating system. We rewrote the operating system to work well with the chip, to work well with the chassis, and we also enable the Strato OS to work with Veloce 2. So customers will benefit from staying, if they need to, stay with Veloce 2 Quattro, for example, for sub 250 million gates design, and get access to the Strato OS, benefit and get a better return of the investment, extend the life of the current hardware that they have and preserve that investment if they decide to. If they move to the new one, then obviously they'll get access to the new operating system with the new hardware.
Good, thank you. This makes sense, Jean-Marie. One of the differences between an emulator and an FPGA prototyping system centers on design debugging features. Can you discuss a bit the debugging capabilities and the throughput supported by Strato?
So debugging for us is one aspect of what we call throughput or productivity. Certain emulator vendors claim they have the fastest compile, the other one says I have the fastest runtime, and the other says I have the worst debug. So we basically say, we consider total throughput, which is compile, runtime, and debug. And we have improved total throughput by 5x. With respect to time to visibility or time to debug, we have actually changed a lot how the architecture is outputting data out of the box. And that co-model dump out of the box has been changed to be a little bit more optical by nature. And with the move to optical, you get a faster response. And we see about up to 10x in what we call time to debug or time to visibility. So it's very important for debug. It's also very important, for example, for power, to get a lot of data out of the box to look at power, either static or dynamic. But we have changed that time to debug and time to visibility.
Definitely, Veloce Strato is a remarkable emulation platform, Jean-Marie. Mentor Graphics has earned a reputation for its pioneering approach in using software-based technologies for emulation, from transaction-based verification, called TBX, as an alternative to in-circuit emulation, to the implementation of virtual lab for protocol solutions and the introduction of Veloce apps. What should we expect in this area to hear from Mentor in the future?
So obviously, this is something that we're not announcing today. It's not something I'm going to comment a lot. But yes, you could expect, as we have started to communicate for about over a year now, we will continue to expand our library of Veloce apps I think we have seen very good market reaction to this. We have expanded as well our virtual lab offering. We are very now different than our competition from that sense, which is offering is really targeted by vertical. So when we communicate with a storage company or a company that does networking, we don't come with an offering that is, all you can eat everything and you just picked up what you need along the way. We come with something that is very specific to their need. For networking, we have announced with Virtual Lab Ethernet as well as Veloce VN in integration with Ixia. So we're going to continue to have more announcements on this for many different verticals. For automotive, we are building a very solid offering. We have some very concrete wins this year in automotive, for which we are working on making those public. They're not public yet, but they will be public soon. So overall, you will continue to see more apps. There is a lot of need within automotive. There's a lot of needs within storage. There's a lot of need within the mobile multimedia space. All the multimedia market is moving from 4K TV to 8K TV with the Olympics games and so on. There's a lot of activity needed around multimedia. With mobile, we had launched an application called Power. It's working very well. We see a lot of interest in hardware, software debug, either through hybrid to run faster or not being hybrid, but to have the software stack be enabled. So you'll see things as well from us in that domain and continue to make noise on this. And I encourage everybody to actually attend the Mentor User-to-User in April, where you'll see, I think, 5 or 6 customers coming to talk about what they do with Veloce. It's always better to have customers talking about what they do with the solution rather than us talking about it.
Oh, totally agree, Jean-Marie. It's a great solution. Thank you for taking the time to join me today for the podcast. And looking forward to talk to you again in the near future.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Lauro. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast of Lauro Rizzatti's Verification Perspectives. Join us next time for another interesting and in-depth conversation. For more episodes, please visit www.rizzatti.com. That's RIZZATTI.com.